Hello Smart Movers and welcome to Smart Move Insider, a place where we talk about fitness from within. My name is Sergio alongside head coach Bart, and today we're going to talk about group classes. In this episode we will explain to you the group setting in which we pursue fitness, a sneak peek in how the classes look and the reason behind it. Expect to hear the structure of a class, how big and how long is a class, if you need a certain level to start group classes, and why do you need to track your results, and many more. So let's dive right into it. If you would bring somebody from the streets inside Smart Move and he sees everything we have in the gym, a person that is unfamiliar with anything besides the global gym, how would you explain to him what we are doing here?
It's one of those questions where every coach is going to give you their own version of answer. It's not standard. So what I would answer is that CrossFit is a strength and conditioning program. So we're focusing on gaining strength and improving cardio. So the goal is to improve overall fitness. So more strength, more cardio. The main focus in CrossFit lies on the Metcon, the metabolic conditioning. This is CrossFit's version of what we see as cardio. It's not cardio like the average Joe would think of cardio, because if I say cardio to the average Joe, they're probably thinking of running and biking. No, CrossFit type of cardio is a combination of exercises coming from weightlifting, powerlifting, gymnastics, and then the typical cardio the average Joe would think about: rowing, cycling, burpees, jump rope, stuff like that. And these exercises we throw into a combination where some days we do, for example, 3 rounds of 3 exercises out of each category, and maybe other days we'll do 20 minutes of, let's do 4 different type of exercise and do as many rounds as we can. So that's for time and our AMRAPs. So that is how CrossFit views this type of cardio. And every day we do a different workout. So we believe that this approach of structuring our type of cardio like that increases intensity, and we believe that heightened fitness lies in work more intense. So we do short, intense workouts. As I said, it's every day a different workout, but that doesn't mean it's random. There is a little bit of thought behind it. It's varied. So the programming is structured from day to day, that in a way, so you can recover to come back the day after. If today I do a lot of heavy back squats, probably tomorrow I'm going to leave the legs alone a bit. Or if I do legs, maybe it's going to be, for example, let's do a workout with rowing combined with the upper body pull, like pull-ups or push-ups. You're still working your legs, but not the same as you did the day before with weights. Now you're using your legs to push the rower, so it's a little bit different. So there is thought into it. Some days are Metcon only, so cardio only. Some days are lifting only, and majority of the days you probably have some kind of skill work or a little bit of accessory work combined with the cardio. But we'll go more in detail on the real structure later. But that's what I would tell people, that it's a combination of multiple elements that get put together, and every day we just mix it up. So it's often full body workout.
I think this is one of the most complex questions.
Yeah.
Especially when you talk with somebody over the phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes they ask, what are you doing there? And why do I need a certain preparation before entering the classes?
Yeah.
Or what do you do there that this is completely different from a global gym?
I think what I could answer to that, if he would ask me that, is that the difference lies into that you need to get your body ready for working with less rest. And when you go into the global gym and you do, for example, any of the exercises we put in combo, and you put them separate, like do 10 air squats and rest 1 minute, do 10 push-ups and rest 1 minute, do 500 meter row and then rest 1 minute, is different than when I tell you do 3 rounds of 10 push-ups, 10 air squats and 500 meter row with as little rest as possible in between. So that's where most people that are in shape, they get hit hard because their body is not used to intensity I think that's the difference between global gym and a combo like this is intensity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. So not just the exercise, because exercises, they kind of look the same. We also do deadlifts, you also do push press, strict press, back squat, front squat. So you can do that in the global gym for sure. But the way we put it all together, it's way different. What I used to tell them is over the phone it's a bit more of a struggle, but from some time now I ask them to come into the gym so I can see them and they can see some people moving in the background, so they make themselves an idea based on what they see at first sight. So I try to ask them to come in a day when the class is being held and they are looking a bit. And I do tell them that we are trying to pursue a general fitness and we try to be as capable as possible in all fitness domains. And I tell them about the three main domains that we are trying to be as best as we can: weightlifting, gymnastics, and cardio. And then I explain a bit the whole three. But I try not to get into too much details because it's a new person. They did just hypertrophy training, let's say. I don't want to get into why weightlifting. It's developing your fast twitch fibers and stuff like that.
And explosivity.
Yeah, explosivity. I just go, okay, weightlifting is just lifting weights. Lifting weights and sometimes a bit faster. Gymnastics, every movement that you can do body weight. And then cardio is the ones that you know: running, biking, and rowing. Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to
I
tell
can
them.
imagine, and especially on the phone, it's hard, and you need to like keep it as simple as possible. Probably like we work strength, but for cardio it's usually some type of an interval training with multiple exercises. That's probably like the most easy version that I could come up with. That would make sense to somebody, but yeah, if they could see it, at least you could just give a little bit of context of what is happening in front of their nose. It would make more sense.
And rarely, some of them ask me, why don't we have all the machines that they see in a global gym? Why don't we have the cable machines that you can, I don't know, train different muscles, different areas of the body? And I tell them that we are having group classes and we work out together, and that thing creates a magical feeling that is pushing you a bit farther.
It's motivational, yeah.
It's motivational because you next to somebody makes you push a bit harder, not even wanting to do that.
Yeah. And you're both doing the same thing, so you know how it feels.
And it keeps you accountable.
Yeah.
You need to do the same thing as the guy next to you. So sometimes this helps a lot. And 3 to 6 times a week depends how and what your goals are.
But I think what that question sometimes comes from with the cable machines or machines in general is that they're still into the mindset of I need to train every muscle separate. While in CrossFit it's a lot of full body movement. We're training the big muscles and we're more into movement patterns than into train biceps separate, train triceps separate. The muscles will get trained by the moves we do because they're full body moves. And like the Olympic lifts, they basically train the full body. You go for combined movements, not necessarily isolation movements. So it's a bit of a mindset shift that still needs to happen, and it's normal. They have never seen this type of training before.
And I don't know if you remember, but back in the days where we first started, every global gym warrior were asking us, where are the mirrors? Why don't we have mirrors? And when we were coaching them to do a deadlift or a power clean, I can't do it if I cannot see myself. This was so common, if you remember, like before 2020.
Yeah, now not anymore, but back then a lot of times people say that I cannot, it's like they wouldn't feel where their body is in space, they need to see it to know where their hip is. They can't feel where their hip is according to where their shoulder is.
Yeah, so that was very weird.
That's a bit strange, yeah. What do you think is the biggest difference within getting trained in a commercial gym and getting trained in a CrossFit gym?
I think it's just sometimes the approach. So if you train into a global gym, you will train by a certain way. So that means bodybuilding style. You need to train all the muscles separately. If you train into a, let's say, more functional gym, they will try to make circuite, like to do a lot of stations and just rotate. It's like, I don't know how to answer exactly the question.
Yeah, when you're training bodybuilding style, you're responsible for your training, right? You need to come into the gym with a plan and knowing what to do. Am I going to do chest and what exercises I'm going to do? When you walk into a CrossFit gym, we have that figured out for you. There is a coach that taught for you on what the focus of the month will be, what we're going to work on, what exercise is going to be on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. So that thinking part is taken out a bit. And I know from training in a global gym myself, a lot of people would walk in without a plan and they wouldn't do so much because they didn't have a plan. They would go on the treadmill probably or the bicycle for 5 minutes. Then they would go on their phone. Then they would probably do a couple of sets of bench press, look around, think to themselves, what should I do now? Well, maybe I should do some biceps. So there was not a real plan in it, and then no real things were happening.
I thought you were asking me about if somebody trains you in a global gym or somebody trains you in a CrossFit gym. Because I just had a talk with a client that she went to a commercial gym and she got a coach, but she said, I told him what I wanted.
Okay.
I wanted more diversity in what I was doing, but I was constantly getting just a couple of sets here, a couple of sets there, and I wasn't focusing on strength, let's say. I was just focusing on 15 plus reps.
Okay, muscle endurance.
Yeah, muscle endurance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the key reasons. But yeah, if you are going alone, yeah, in the global gym you can go and you can do whatever you want because it's you by yourself. But when you come to CrossFit, at least in Smart Move CrossFit, we don't have an open gym. So you are constantly in a class. You are in a class scenario where there's always a coach, a program, and you just need to come and do the work. And speaking about classes, how big are our classes and how do you lead them? Usually
they're 14 people big. With exception, they sometimes go to 16, but usually they're 14 people big. Like you said, they're led by a coach. So he will explain you the exercises. He will practice with you the technique. He will check your form and keep you safe. He will explain you what the goal, the stimulus of that day's workout is, how fast that workout should be finished, how much reps you should be able to do unbroken on a certain exercise so you can estimate a bit the weight you're going to need. So the stimulus is explained so you would get a certain amount of intensity out of it, and the stimulus is explained so everybody can adjust the workout a little bit according, so they personally would achieve the stimulus. Maybe one person will need 40 kilos, another will need 60 kilos to get the same type of intensity out of it. Usually the class structure is like general warm-up, mobility, technical warm-up, where could be also practice of a skill, weightlifting or gymnastic style, or it could just be, instead of the technical warm-up and the practice, it could be just strength work. And then a metcon. But like I said before, and at the end, cool down. But like I said before, some days maybe it's only strength, some days will be only metcon, some days it's both. So, but the general structure, let's say on a day where it's both, will be something like that. General warm-up, mobility, strength or skill, metcon and cool down.
Cool. So we are a small community that the coach knows everybody by name, usually. Yeah. So he can guide you in how you should challenge yourself today. Yes,
and you get to know your people, because most people train at the same hour, so you see a lot of times the same coach sees the same faces back. So after a couple of months, he knows your weaknesses and strengths, which helps him guide you better to get a better workout from day to day, because he has more information.
Exactly. What I don't want to be associated with is the aerobic classes or the HIIT classes. I long time was at one aerobic class and insanity type of workout. Yeah. But in that scenario, the coach stays in front of you and he moves in the same time you move, so you get no coaching. So that's monkey see, monkey do. in our classes, usually we try to teach people something new every day. Like, if you sign up for a class, I want to give you a cue today that will better your movement, or it will help you get a greater score. So the main differentiator is the coaching part in the CrossFit
I would
class.
agree. Yeah. That's what people come for, hopefully, that they realize that you get coached here. And indeed, in the global gym, it's just their setup. The business plan is set up on volume. So if the guy in his insanity class or aerobic class has 40 people, it's impossible for him to be the demo in the front and also correct people that squat with their knees in or don't have their stance right, or they're collapsing and their back is rounding in an air squat. Not that they wouldn't want to, but their system doesn't allow for it. So that's the nice thing about CrossFit and having 14 people in your class, that over the hour you will all get cued, and the goal is then the more cues you get from training to training, the better your movement will start to be. So our goal is to make you move well first before we give you weights and before we push you to go fast.
That's great. So let's go a bit over the structure of the class. So warm up, stretch, strength or skill, metcon, and cool down. What do they mean and why do we need to do them? And let's start with the first one, warm up.
So we have a general warm up. So the general warm up is just there to raise your core body temperature and to warm up your muscles and joints a bit for what's gonna come later in the workout, in the strength part or in the metcon. You should come out of a general warm-up a bit sweaty and a bit out of breath to prime your body for going more intense later. Hence, warm up. You should be warmed up. So if you're not sweaty, you didn't warm up well. The general warm-up is also a very useful tool for the coach to see a little bit the energy of the class and to already start assessing a little bit the movement patterns of the people in class. So if I have back squats with weight later on, then probably we're going to have some air squats in the warm-up, and then I can already start cueing and correcting people and see a bit who is tight in the ankles, who is tight in the hips, who I'm going to have to give some extra attention. So the general warm-up is where the coaching starts.
So even if you don't know your group, that's the first chance to meet your people and to assess them a bit, to know everybody their level.
Exactly.
From the first part.
And also, yeah, maybe that will also be the moment where you see that maybe Emma today is a bit low energy, and you can ask her and she will tell you that she only slept 4 hours because the baby was crying. So it's a bit of a feel for the energy level and also the movement in your group, so you can adjust your coaching and help them in the remainder of the hour to get the best hour of their day. Mobility is like debatable subject. Some studies say if I would do too much for especially static stretching before I do strength, I will lose some of my strength abilities.
It depends from case to case here.
Yeah, that's why I say it's debatable, because if I don't do some stretching before I go into heavy squats, I will just not get into a nice loose full range of motion squat. So in the cases of people that are a bit tight after the general warm-up, a little bit of mobility, I think I would do it just so I would feel better in the rest of the training. So if it makes you feel good and you move better after, I think you should sacrifice the 5% of strength that potentially you're losing and just get loose. I think no matter what the studies say, I don't think it's a black and white story. It depends. Most of the days we do it, unless sometimes in the general warm-up I put some dynamic movements that also help them get loose, and then we don't do extra. But on some days I do a bit extra because I've seen already in my general warm-up that some people gonna need a bit of extra static stretching on their ankles to get loose, so then I do it.
That's cool. So strength or skill?
Yeah, so on the strength and skill, I would divide strength into two. One, strength, really working strength, trying with the goal of trying to get you as strong as you can for your body weight, usually going to be between 2 and 5 reps. Or accessory work, where it's more of we do some movements to get use some muscle gain that will help you then again at the strength. Those will usually be more between the 8 and 12 rep range, like more hypertrophy style of rep ranges. Some muscle gain helps shape the body. It also enhances your metabolism, and some extra muscle also helps you with when you're going to lift heavy. So it's a bit of a strength / accessory work. And then you have the skill work. That can be a lot of things. That could be practicing with an empty barbell Olympic lifts. That could be drills for toes to bar. That could be drills for progressing to handstand push-ups or other gymnastic movements. CrossFit has a lot of moves in gymnastics and weightlifting that need practice time. And to get good at something, you need to be able to practice without the stress of time and with enough break in between. Usually our practice time is led by progressions. So we take the main move and we split it up in parts, and then we practice each part and we put a layer on top of the cake until we get to the full move. And by getting good at the smaller parts of each move and getting cued, you'll eventually get better on putting it all together. I think it's an essential part that sometimes is missing, and some people sometimes say it's boring, but I think it's necessary. You need to practice and mindfully think of the move before you do the same move with weight, because with weight and under fatigue things are going to break down. So you need your practice time as well. It doesn't need to be half an hour. Usually we do short practices, 10-15 minutes, but it has its use, and the use is movement pattern, repetition. If you cannot put me the PVC in the right bar pad for a clean, how are you going to do it with 40 or 60 or 80 kilos if you do not know where to put the PVC or the empty barbell? So we practice with pauses, we practice with tempo, we cut the move into parts, and then we practice the part of the move that you're not so good at until it clicks for you, also from coordination point of view, because most people, they have the strength, they just don't know how to use it.
Yeah, many people are so strong, but they don't have the technique for it, and they're just muscling it.
Yeah, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help. And then they just
No,
need to be a bit patient.
Because when you have over 30 reps in a Metcon, that muscle fatigue will make your technique very bad, so you're not able to finish sometimes the workout.
Yeah, and I think you've probably seen it also a lot. People, they get very frustrated on the Olympic lifts. So anybody that is listening now, it's a process. If you're one that gets frustrated on Olympic lifts, that it doesn't click directly, ask anybody in the gym how long it took for them, and it's a matter of months. And then it also depends that you catch it every week, those drills. But it's normal. It's not that you're not strong enough, it's that you don't know how to use your strength. So we need to teach you in steps, like pauses above the knee, pauses at the hips, only practice the extension, do different type of drills until it clicks for you to make it look good with the empty bar. And in my experience, most people, it takes them months to give me a good clean or a good snatch with empty bar. So put your mind to it that it's going to take months. It's going to help with the frustration. Don't put your mind to it that after session 2 of in your life you never did a snatch before, it's going to look good. It will not.
Sometimes I tell people that get frustrated like this, that look, this is an Olympic sport. So people are doing this 2 times a day sometimes, and they're just practicing 3 moves. So if you would learn so fast, just imagine how good would you be. So please have some respect for the sport and don't get frustrated that fast. Be patient.
Yeah, it's harder to be patient. Everybody wants to just be so talented that everything goes directly and smooth. But there is a certain gratitude that you will get, that you know you worked for something and that it finally clicks. Like I couldn't do double unders, and now after X amount of practice, finally the double unders click, and all of a sudden I can do a lot of double unders in a row. Metabolic conditioning, our way of cardio. We train your heartbeat, we train your engine, but as I told you, we also use weights, so you will also get a certain type of strength out of it, because if I need to do 5 rounds of 10 push presses with 60 kilos, it will give me a certain amount of strength, not the absolute 1 rep max strength, but still a certain amount of strength. because I see Metcons like as some kind of a hypertrophy with little to no rest. Because I do sets of 10, I go do another exercise, I come back to that same bar, do another 10. So you get some kind of a stimulus like that, like you did volume training. That's also sometimes how I feel after Metcons the day after, like I did volume training on that certain body part. Metcons, usually couplets or triplets, so that means 2 exercises combined or 3 exercises combined. And you will do them for a certain amount of rounds, or you will do them for a certain amount of time, where you do as many rounds as you can. Most Metcons, we stick to 15, 17 minutes somewhere, most of the time. Sometimes we go longer, sometimes we go shorter, but most of the time we will be working in that mid-range. In the end, our goal is general fitness. We don't want to be on one side, or we don't want to be on the other side. We want to outlift the runner and outrun the lifter, so we want to be good a little bit at everything, but not an expert in anything. This keeps variety high, this keeps things interesting, and this gives you a lot of general skills and strengths to take in daily life, because you can run, you can jump, you can lift, you have a certain amount of strength, you have coordination, you have agility, and that's because of all the combos we make and the variation we put in the workouts. Cool down. How would you describe the cool down?
Cool down is the part where you wait for your spirit to get back into your body. It's my favorite part. Sometimes it's done laying on the floor, sometimes it's done stretching, sometimes we just make a circle and talk about how it went, if they are satisfied, if they enjoyed today's workout, and sometimes I'm really curious how they felt and get some feedback of the inside feel, because sometimes I just train after I coach.
Want to hear the strategy? I want to
hear a bit of a strategy, what they did, what they thought, and how it went.
What was the hardest part of the workout for them?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them, they go zero strategy. They just go heads on, and sometimes they finish, sometimes they crash. But some of them, they think a bit, and I like to hear those thoughts about it, how I thought of it, how I started, how I jumped, how I landed, how I rested. And sometimes you can learn from those people.
Yeah, it's important to have a bit of a strategy into your Metcons, know a bit your strengths and weaknesses of the exercises that are on the board, so you know where can I push, where do I need to hold back. Because if you're going to go full in without thinking every time, you're not necessarily always going to have the best time, and you're going to go so high in RPM, too high.
Yeah, and most of the times the cool down is the best time to explain them anything you want. If you have like a golden nugget for them, just imagining it. You're at the board before the Metcon starts, you tell them what they need to do, they're with the mind all over, not just there. They finish the workout, then they are there and they are present. And then if you have a message for them, that's the time to put it, and that seed will grow if you plant it really good. So I like the cool down many times.
Yeah, I bet they're extra attentive. They just want to sit and chill.
Yeah. Cool. So this sounds like a lot of things behind it. Mm-hmm. There's a question a lot of people are asking. Do you need to be a certain level to start one of those classes, or you can just jump right in? How would you answer?
CrossFit can in principle be done by anybody. This is one of those questions, but that it depends. So it can be done by anybody, because all workouts can be adjusted, and they get adjusted from day to day, even for people that have been here for a while. It's necessary that they get adjusted to your strengths and weaknesses, because we want to progress you. We have people from 16 years old to 72 years old working out without any issue. So that proves that in essence it can be done by anybody, but we do have some talks with people in advance, and it depends a little bit on the talk and on your training experience and your recent activity level, what path would be best for you. If you haven't worked out in the last period, or you have gained weight, maybe directly jumping into a group class might not be the best path for you, because we will most likely recommend you to do the intro course with a personal trainer, where in 8 sessions they will take you a bit through the basics, and they will give you some technique practice on the most common used exercises. You're not going to learn everything there, because there is still plenty of things to learn. Even after all these years, anybody doing CrossFit, we're always in a learning point. There's always something to improve, but you're going to get a little bit of a general feel of what are the most common used exercises. You get one-on-one attention. A coach sees every rep of you in that hour, and he will have a bit of the time in those 8 sessions to slowly build up a bit the cardio part of it all, starting off slowly, giving you more breaks between exercises, and then by session 8 to get you moving for like 10 minutes without stopping, like a slow build up before you directly go to class. So there are a lot of people in this case that they should pass a little bit through some personal attention, and then they can slowly ease into class, where they still will be scaled and adjusted according to their fitness level. But it's a bit of if you didn't do sports, or you were sedentary for a while, it's a bit of a brutal step in if you directly go into the class. But we also have the other option, right? We have also people that do move.
Yes, we have people that move and people that didn't move for a while. Usually I tell them that this is a more complex answer, and it's not a yes or no. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily depends, but in big, you need to be at a certain level to join the classes. Because I would recommend somebody who is day-to-day active to join a class. He can or she can do this. But if you are overweight and you didn't move for a while, and the past 12 months was okay, just eating, sitting, and you were thinking of running, but you didn't run, and then you want to do sports, and everybody is very enthusiastic at the start of something. So if you let them loose in a class, they might get injured because they will go a bit too hard, and it can be a bit dangerous.
They will go too hard and they will come too often, probably. Instead of in the PT, we just start with 2 times, and we build up to 3 times. So we don't directly go, let's go 5 times from week 1, and people that are very enthusiastic sometimes do that.
Exactly. Or if you never did sports, you had scutire medicale at school, you didn't play with the ball inside the yard or something, and you jump into classes, that can be too much, because like we said earlier, you can feel a bit of a competition where you're next to somebody. So if you see next to you a person that is not very in shape, but he's a very old member and he knows how to move and to approach the workout, you will very fast crash. So in these cases, I just tell them they have an intro course, and then there is the place that they will get coaching. And what we are trying there to do is give them small wins, little wins that encourage them to come again for another session tomorrow. What we don't want to do is get them inside the gym and kill them. We can anytime kill somebody and drain in sweat, but that's not the purpose. It's
very easy to make hard work.
That's not the purpose. No. We want to show them a bit of intensity, build them a certain base of strength, and then show them step by step the foundational movements, so we can build upon them. This is how I'm trying to explain them. But yes, there's the other part of the population. If they're this sports, if they're training, let's say you lift weights, even in hypertrophy, and you do sometimes a bit of a running cardio machine, you can get through with an assessment. In the assessment, we don't judge the high fitness level, but we
don't judge the results. We judge how you move.
You want to see coordination.
Yeah, that you're coachable.
You know, left or right, and if you're coachable. Because you come here in Smart Move to be coached. So if you've never been coached, that can be a bit confrontational at first.
We had people like that. They're not used to being coached, and they're used to doing certain exercises in a certain way, which we said it's not full range of motion enough, your squat is not deep enough, and we start making adjustments, and they are a little bit feeling attacked. This is how I always do it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're here to set a certain standard, and we're here to coach you out of experience, how we felt, what are the best positions, how a move's supposed to look like with the education we had. So it's just for your benefit that you're getting coached, and that just good technique will lead to more weights, more results, more intensity. So it's in everybody's benefit.
Yeah. So after this talk with the clients many times, I have the next question. Who is going to be the coach in the class? Will it be you?
It could
Every
be.
time they want to be with the first person they see.
Because they got a bit of a relationship with
Yeah.
you, so they're comfortable with you, so they would prefer to just deal with you from now on. No, yeah, we have what, 6 coaches
6 per location.
And we are the CrossFit box with the most degrees. We have multiple level 1s, 2s and 3s. Me and you, we're the only, besides one more, we're the only level 3s in Romania. We have 4 levels in CrossFit. And we're quite proud of that because it was hard earned, and that goes over, that was after 10 years of coaching experience, coaching people in CrossFit. And I think this is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. If you, as a listener, are in search of a CrossFit gym, the degrees on the wall is definitely something that you should keep in consideration. Besides the normal stuff, of course, where is the gym located, what's the price, is it a clean facility? But just drop into a class and ask yourself a couple of questions. Are these guys having level 1s, level 2s, level 3s? Are they educated in what the CrossFit method is, how it should be taught, how it should be programmed? Or are they doing it their own way? And are we just getting these I will kill you workouts every day, I will kill you type of workouts, hero workouts? This is not what the CrossFit method is about. You should be able to come back day after day, go in there. Do they have structure to them? Is there technique time, practice time on the things you're doing, or are you getting scaled individually? Is anybody telling you what the goal of the workout is? Because trust me, there is a difference between CrossFit gyms that do have the papers on the wall and search the education, and CrossFit gyms that do it their own style. So as a customer, also be aware of these things. Don't just go for the shiny object. It looks fancy, so it must be good. So ask yourself a couple of deeper questions. Might look like CrossFit, but might be far away from what CrossFit wanted to achieve. So be attentive for the red flags when you're looking for a place to train.
Yeah, I always tell the people that we have a team of great coaches. Everybody is a bit better than me. So if you think I'm a nice person, you talking to me right now, just wait until you see my colleagues. Everybody will be taking care of you, will make you feel comfortable inside the group. So just go at any class. That's why we don't have classes in the name of the coach, because we are making a circle around it, so everybody has certain hours.
Yep.
That's cool. If I, for example, train hypertrophy in the gym, I think I said too many times hypertrophy. If I usually train in a gym and I know how to move, do you advise me to do CrossFit next to it, or try to train CrossFit for a while and then go back to my usual training?
It's like many questions, it depends. What are you trying to achieve by doing both? That would be my first question, and then depending on the answer, because you could technically do both. Like you could train even 2 a days and say I'm gonna do some bodybuilding style workout in the morning and I'm gonna use CrossFit for my cardio. It could be possible, but out of experience you need to be careful just stacking one training program on top of another, because too much volume potentially will lead to overtraining. The question only is, whatever you're doing training wise, is if you can recover from it, it's fine. But the main question would be, because it's a hypothetical question, is what does that person want to achieve? Is he doing that because he thinks he will not get something out of CrossFit, that he's missing something in CrossFit, that's why he needs to do extra hypertrophy work. To most people I would say like, okay, the reason why you're probably here, I'm assuming, is because you want to try something new. And if you want to try something new, you need to give it the full chance. If you gonna do 3 days of bodybuilding cell and 3 days of CrossFit, you might get overtrained and then say it's CrossFit's fault. But you never gave CrossFit the full chance. To give CrossFit the full chance, you need to drop the weight, the hypertrophy work, let's say for 3 months, and just go full in CrossFit and then feel the benefits. And then see if you're missing something, then you can still add the hypertrophy work on top or on other days and go 3 times CrossFit, 2 times, or vice versa. But you need to give one a full chance to see if it's working for you or not, because hypertrophy work, you did it full time already. You know what that gives you. CrossFit, you don't know, so why would you want to combine them? Give one a full chance and then see if you're going to combine them after.
I think this is the number one reason for you getting hurt, because you already have a certain mentality, but then you train a bit and you maybe associate some exercises 2 times in a day, for example, and too often, and then you get hurt, and then you say CrossFit is dangerous. But it's not. It's because you don't have that much information and education in it to differentiate a bit.
Because imagine you did a heavy back day yesterday and tomorrow you walk into CrossFit and it's heavy deadlifts. Probably not a good idea.
So I just said them, look, I would just dedicate myself 3 months in doing this. Try to see if you can come 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week. Just get every time of the day in classes and just try them out. Don't try to do them in the same time. Or if you want to do this because you think you need it, just have at least 6 to 8 hours in between trainings if you want to do 2 times a day.
And be very smart. What you did by yourself and then what you're going to do in a CrossFit class, what type of moves are in there, you're going to have to cherry pick a bit then and make smart combinations.
Can I do trainings by myself? I'm an experienced athlete and I don't think I need coaching.
Oh yeah, that's also a
This is a common one.
A common question. Short answer is no, you can't train by yourself at Smart Move. We don't have an open gym. Even the best CrossFitters in the world have a coach. Froning, Fraser, Tia Claire, they won the CrossFit Games multiple times. So again, we're coming back to you need to give CrossFit a full chance, and the main part of CrossFit is being coached. So why would you think that the best in the world need a coach but you don't? The problem is when training by yourself and never having a coach's eye on you, you can start developing bad habits in technique or not be aware even of your bad movement. If you want to train by yourself, you're basically going to need to be your own coach. So that means you're going to need to film yourself. You're going to need to have to analyze your own movement. You're your own coach. You're going to check your deadlift and you're going to see if it's neutral back, if you're engaging the right muscles before you lift it off the ground. You need to be aware how to breathe, where to put your stance. These are all things that a coach would make you aware of if you're in a class. But if you want to train by yourself, you basically need to educate yourself like we did. That means go to the courses, do self-education, take the exams, so you keep you safe. So I think everybody needs a coach. So I don't think there is big benefit for people, especially new to CrossFit, to come in and go in open gym, unless you're a coach and you really have the knowledge, because you're training other people, that you can also apply that to yourself by looking at your own video and you can say that and that I'm doing wrong. On the next set I'm going to try to correct that, or it doesn't look good, I'm going to lower the weight, I'm going to self-correct myself. We have had open gym in the past, and what I saw there often was that people are practicing something, Olympic lifts or gymnastics, but they don't have the knowledge of knowing when it's wrong. So basically what they're doing there is practicing bad reps and just reinforcing bad habits. And you know the saying of practice makes perfect, but no, it's good practice makes perfect, but you need to know what you need to practice. You need to know how to divide the move into parts and self-correct yourself. If you do not know, you're like wasting your time there, because you think that you don't need coaching because you have experience. It depends. Maybe you don't realize you don't have that much experience. Maybe you should feel a class for a while to be coached, to discover what things you have to work on. Maybe you'll be surprised how much cues you get there of things that you thought you're supposed to do in one way, and we're explaining you the why it's not the efficient way.
I couldn't agree more. How many classes do you have per day, and how long is the class?
A class is 60 minutes, and I think we have 5 a day, depending on, because some days we have on Unomai 2 in the morning, but let's say we have 7 o'clock in the morning, 12 lunch class, and then 5, 6, 7 that are our classes, and we have a couple of specialty classes. Become RX and Grow Stronger, led by our coaches Raresh and Lore, and it's a bit more to the hypertrophy style of training, strength style of training. Then we have a specialty class, Olympic weightlifting, held by our coach Vlad, where he will do Olympic weightlifting training, so snatch and clean and all the accessory work that will improve the snatch and clean, so squats and deadlifts and stuff like that. But you get exposed there more to the Olympic lifts, because the more often you practice them, we put them in class, but maybe you'll catch a snatch once every 2 weeks. If you go to the weightlifting specialty class, you catch an extra snatch that week, so it will only help. And then we have one more specialty class, endurance, for the guys that like long suffering, lot of reps, the fire breathers amongst us. On Wednesdays we have an endurance class.
And we have another one, the Competitors Club.
Ah, right. Already forgot about that one. Yeah, maybe you can explain what that is about.
Max, he's in the lead of the competitors. They meet 2 times a week. And in this class, you can enter only if you have a registration for a competition. So we started this project in like May, I think. And so far so good. We are getting to know some people that are into competitions, and they just been to the Romanian showdown, and now they have, each of them have something to work on. And Max is very dedicated in making them, besides suffer, making them stronger and more skillful. So I think this is a nice one also.
Yeah, it's a new project, and more people started getting interested into it. So yeah, there is always in every community some people that are interested in training and going to a certain competition in 4 months, in 5 months, and just getting a bit more ready for it, and then working a bit on their weaknesses, strength-wise, skill-wise, or both, or cardio-wise. So yeah, people are enjoying it so far.
Cool. So how do I join classes? Where do I see everything? Where do I see the reservations? And where do I put in my scores?
We have a platform called Wodify that we've been using now for almost 8-9 years. It's a platform where the coaches can communicate with you via chat function if they need to send you something. You can also see some announcements post for any events that are upcoming. That's where you will also see the schedule for our classes for both gyms. And people have access to both locations. In each location the workout is the same. We have location at Unomai and Bererie, so dependent on where you are, at the hour you want to train, what side of town, maybe you'll go to one location or the other. So that can be a handy thing that some people take advantage of. And also it serves as a training log for you, where you post your daily scores. Training log for you, but also training log for me that programs, to see a little bit if the community is making progress, because then I need data.
Yeah, measurable, observable. We need to see numbers going up or times going down in the workout in order to not base ourselves on feelings. I feel I'm stronger.
Yeah, I often say that.
Show me that you're stronger.
Measuring is knowing, so I think I'm getting stronger, I think I'm getting more cardio. If you track your progress, all the weighted exercises, all the weightlifting exercises, if in January you did a certain amount of weight and in June you did more, okay, you're getting stronger. We have benchmark workouts where we test our metabolic conditioning, where we test our cardio with. If in January you did a certain workout in 12 minutes and then we repeat that workout in June and now you did it in 10:45, you got fitter. So it helps to see it black and white. It helps to know that the thing you're doing is working, you're getting fitter, you're getting stronger. It helps to motivate yourself to come back and to keep going.
Nice. And is this the only way I can do CrossFit, by joining group classes? Or you have some other place to start or to train? Can I do fitness?
We do also, and maybe not a lot of people know that, we do also one-on-one trainings and semi-private trainings, so like a mini group. So one-on-one is just one-on-one, or in the smaller groups maybe there are 2 or 3 people. So there you can, depending on your goals, you can train. We can make a program whatever suits your goal. We are not we do CrossFit group classes, but we have also knowledge in other stuff. We went to courses for strength and conditioning for specific fight sports, for example. We've helped people that needed to get out of back pain and knee pain. We trained pregnant ladies, multiple of them in the last year. So depending on your goal, maybe you have a weight loss goal, and we're gonna do a beginning period of hypertrophy work, and then slowly start adding the cardio while we work on your food habits. So maybe for a while you will just lift weights and you won't do any cardio. So depending on your goals.
So basically we won't focus on the general fitness.
No.
We're just going to focus on your needs at that moment.
Exactly. The difference between class and PT, in class you get a little bit of everything. We're trying to raise general fitness. But if you have a certain goal, like I want to gain muscle mass and I want to get 10 kilos heavier, okay, then general fitness programming is not what you need. So then we're going to tweak it towards your needs.
That's really cool. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, please write us an email at info@smartmovecrossfit.ro or shoot us a message on Instagram @smartmovecrossfit. If you want to find out more about the two of us, you can find our details into the show notes. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.